Today, we're joined by a very interesting young lawyer who has filed a writ petition before the Madras High Court. And this is a very important writ petition because, he has asked the court to form a special investigation team that will look into various issues associated with temples in Tamil Nadu that fall under the HR&CE department. Of course, as we know, it's been quite a controversial subject in the sense that there have been allegations of misappropriation of funds by HR&C officials from temples in Tamil Nadu, and also that lands belonging to temples have either been given away or sold commercially. And this is precisely what this young man, Mr. Jagannath, has done today. Thank you very much for joining us, Mr. Jagannath. My first question to you, can you tell us what exactly are you asking the court for in this specific writ petition? I know that you want an SIT, but what do you want the SIT to do? What do you want the SIT to look into?
Over the past 25 to 30 years, there has been a lot of allegations pertaining to misappropriation of funds. It's not restricted to a particular government per se, but it's been there for more than about 30 years, cutting across all governments. And I've said that in the affidavit also, that it's only because of certain bad apples in the department that the department gets a very bad name. And if you see, there are a lot of instances of misappropriation of funds. One such example, which I have cited in the types of papers and in the affidavit, is that for one particular temple, the fixed deposit of more than 110 crores has been reduced to more than about 52 crores, which means the difference is about 60 crores, which was done in 2017. Now, what has happened to that, we do not know. That is point one. We received this through an RTA information, which was handed over to me by a person named Mr. Raman and Mrs. Usha Ramanan, which was handed over to me. And also certain RTI information which was given to me by Mr. T.R. Ramesh. We all know that he is a very big temple activist. In fact, I had to thank him for sharing this information. Now, this is not restricted to one particular temple alone. If you see, there are various temples in Tamil Nadu. Take it, for example, Palani. Take it, for example, like Tirutani. So many temples are there, in which without the appointment of trustees, these kind of funds have been sanctioned for various other reasons. One is for purchase of funds for cars, for Bolero vehicles, for which my other case is also pending. Second thing is for construction of offices. One might ask, why construction of an office within the HR&C department? Why is it wrong? The reason is very simple. The Act mandates, there is a specific provision in section in which the Act mandates, and also it's confirmed by the Supreme Court, that 12% of the funds which is being sent by the temples to the government, it is within that fund that these kind of things have to be done. See, nobody is objecting to you purchasing furnitures or having offices, but these things have to be done in the manner prescribed according to law. That is point number 2. Point number 3, if you see the manner in which these kind of irregularities has been happening, there is an audit report, periodical audit reports. 2021, there is an audit report, which I have kept in the typeset of papers. 2023, the Finance Department of Tamil Nadu has also given another audit report, which also I have placed. They have asked for a special drive to be connected, because the issue is that there are so much of audit objections which were raised by the Tamil Nadu Financial Department, by the HR&C internal audit itself. There is so much of audit objections which were raised, which goes across various temples. The amount is in crores. It's unimaginable. Such kind of audit objections, I don't think it's existing in any other department in Tamil Nadu. So for that reason alone, I think an SIT would be sufficient. And at this point of time, specifically, I would like to thank Senior Counsel Mr. Ravi Sheshadri of Gupta and Ravi, who had appeared for me before the first bench in Madras High Court on the 1st of June. He had played a tremendous, commendable role. If not for Ravi Sheshadri sir's help, I wouldn't be sharing this interview with you. I would like to take this opportunity to thank Ravi Sheshadri sir. He's a senior counsel in the Madras High Court. So I would like to make a special mention regarding him, and also with regard to Mr. T.R. Ramesh sir.
We all know that Mr. T.R. Ramesh is someone who has been working on this issue for many years. He has met with some successes, some failures as well. Apart from him, there are a bunch of other people who have been petitioning the courts.
Yes.
asking for
Yes.
similar relief. But why do you think that your prayer is likely to be taken, is likely to be successful, considering that the courts have really not done much about this so far?
Ma'am, this is a joint effort by all temple worshippers. It's not that credit has to go to me or credit has to go to somebody else. See, we are filing a public interest litigation before the Madras High Court, and notice has been ordered. I am really hopeful because the kind of materials that we have placed on record in the types of papers. There are audit objections dating back to, I mean, from 2021, dating back to 1979 onwards. To be specific, the financial department in Tamil Nadu government alone has, for the sake of repetition, I would like to say that these kind of audit objections, which I have just said, it is nowhere seen in any other department. It's in crores. Point number two is that insofar as this particular case is concerned, which I have filed with regard to a special investigative team, it's not only pertaining to appropriation of temple amount, it's also pertaining to temple lands. I mean, if you can see, there are so much of temple lands which has been encroached. Double documentation has been done, and in various lands, acres and acres of land of prime property belonging to various temples, land grabbing has taken place by various people across Tamil Nadu for various temples. Another instance with regard to land issue, I can just say, is with regard to the Tirupuru Murugan temple, which is the case in which I'm the petitioner in that case, and the content is pending. More than about 1,000 acres alone belongs to Tirupuru Murugan temple. And with regard to the Alavanda Charities Trust, there is another 1,000 acres. So that comes to 2,000 acres in ECR and OMR. The encroachment alone comes to 435 acres of land. Just imagine this, the encroachment alone is 435 acres. And there have been 18 instances, as per the status report of the government and the revenue secretary and the registration department. There have been 80 instances of cancellation of double documentation only pertaining to this one particular temple alone. Imagine the status of temples across Tamil Nadu, what could have happened. See, I'm not blaming any particular officials or particular department. All that I'm saying is these kind of instances of misappropriation and double documentation with regard to temple lands are in existence for quite some time. Action has to be taken in accordance with law, following due procedure of law. That is what I'm saying.
All right, that's fair enough. Now, this is also something that the BJP is talking about. I mean, taking a political look at this, freeing temples from misappropriation. Um, and this is one of the main reasons that has been cited, right? That, the HR&CE department and similar other departments and state government departments in other states which run temples, they have, either misappropriated funds or, like you said, taken away lands. So, is there an alternative to these, to temples being controlled by the HR&CE? Like,
Yes, yes,
is
yes,
there
yes.
is I know that people say that bhaktas will take care of it, worshippers will take care of it, devotees will take care of the temples. But is that a feasible solution? Um, can we prevent more such corruption? Because
Exactly.
there will be people who are going to try and make as much money as they can. So how do we prevent something like that?
I'll just give two examples. Temples have been there in Tamil Nadu for more than about, I can say, for about at least more than about 2,500 years. Now, if you see the hereditary trustee for few temples, for example, like the Ramanathapuram temple, the hereditary trustee, as you know, is the Maharaja of Ramnad. The hereditary trustee for the Tanjore temple is uh, the Maratha Bhosles. We all know that quite well. You have the hereditary trustee who was Mr. I think his name is Raghunatha Tondeman, who was the hereditary trustee for Pudukkottai temples. See, there are a certain set of temples which still come under a category called as Palace Devasthanas. All these temples previously were under the control of the kings. In fact, the kings themselves came forward and they have given it to the people at large. They've donated various amount of land to people at large. You have our Rani Mangammal, who was a very famous Maharani in Madurai, whose descendants are still there. It's not as if these descendants are not there. You have Arkat Nawab, who's there, who's still the head of various other Islamic mosques and dargahs, and he has absolute control over it. with overseeing control by the Waqf. So in a similar manner, you can have a nodal officer appointed in all these temples who will be an officer who will aid the temple. For example, if there is a Kumbhabhishekam function, we need the police protection. So for those kind of things, let him be a nodal officer between the government and between the temple. That's all. He should not interfere in the temple affairs. In fact, if you see the functioning of the act itself, if you see the object and scope of the act itself, earlier it was in such a manner in which it will be only having overseeing superintendent's power over the temples across Tamil Nadu. Subsequent amendments have been brought in by various other governments, which have ensured direct administration and interference uh, over the temples. Now, this has led to the situation which is there right now. All that I am saying is the government can have a say if there is an issue in certain temples. They can interfere in certain temples, but you can't say that all temples you have everybody who are there previously were fully corrupt. You possibly cannot say that in more than 36,000 temples which were there with HR&CE department, not one temple has been constructed by the department on their own. It was taken over by the HR&CE department from a previous hereditary trustee. Now, you cannot say that 36,000 people who are hereditary trustees in Tamil Nadu were fully corrupt. Nobody can make such statements. So these acts were framed over a period of time. We all know 1951 the act was there. Previously 1927 the act was there. Then we had 1959 act. There were two reasons why these acts were framed. One is for temple entry, which we all agree that the entrance to the temple should be irrespective of any kind of caste discrimination. That is sacrosanct. That has to be there. Point number two is with regard to the financial irregularities. Defeating the very object of the act, certain HR&CE officials have been behaving. And now it is more rampant right now. Despite of advances in technologies, what we have, it has become more rampant right now. So at least in those kind of scenarios, either let the HR&CE department take action against those erring officials who have done these things, because we have given so detailed documentation in the typeset of papers. Be very happy if the HR&CE department can look into this, or the chief secretary or the home secretary or the financial department which is in charge with regard to the audit can tell to the home secretary and the chief secretary and look into this issue and take a stand against corruption. See, this is a fight against corruption also in the name of God. That should not be there. And the second part of it is assuming that these temples are taken over by, the taking over is given back to the royal families. What is wrong in that? They have been having, they have fought. In fact, if I'm not wrong, in Kalayar Koil, a particular king was hanged in front of the temple by the British only because he defended the temple against the British. So, if I'm not wrong, you must be aware of the historical aspect. So, if I'm not wrong, the kings and the queens have given their lives to safeguard the temples. I don't think they will be indulging in these kind of corruptions. So, these kind of things are there in the department by the HR&CE department officials. It will be high time if the home secretary or the chief secretary come into this picture and they take action against corruption with regard to this particular issue. Failure
All
of
right.
which they can give it to
So,
the royal family. Yes, ma'am.
okay, fair point. Another question I wanted to ask you. Now, you have mentioned, given a few examples in your writ petition. One of which you said was the, 110 crores deposit, which has come down to 50 odd crores. So that's that's about 60 crores that's gone missing, right? In a sense. So you've given a few examples in your writ petition. Do you have an estimate from from your records and the evidence that you have? Do you have a record of how many hundreds of crores could have been siphoned off from temples?
It's in thousands of crores, ma'am. It's in
Okay,
thousands of
thousands
crores,
of
not
crores.
hundreds of
Uh,
crores. It's in thousands of crores.
right.
Uh, uh, we have given a consolidated thing in the typeset of papers. It goes in thousands, man. See, I don't want to trivialize and say that there is thousands and thousands of crores of corruption. It's not my intention to defame the government. But however, since you have asked this question, it is beyond 4,000 crores, man. I can safely say it is beyond 4,000 crores for more than about 10 years of misadministration.
4,000 crores.
It's beyond that. See, that's exactly, I didn't want to say the exact words, because tomorrow they will come and they will use this against me in the court and say, you said that, where is it? You please show it to me. So approximately, I would say on the conservative side, it is 4,000 crores. See, I'm not
So
saying this.
you're basically giving us a back of the envelope calculation.
See, you have the audit objections of the department itself. If you see the audit objections of the department, that itself says that it's in thousands of crores. I need not say that. I'm just a petitioner. You need not believe me. You have your own government, you have your own audit department, which is said the amount is so and so. They have calculated the amount and they've said it, which are kept in the typeset of papers. That ends the matter.
And what about
Otherwise,
temple lands? How, again, an
the finance
approximate figure
department,
on.
the finance department otherwise would not have asked the HR&CE commissioner to go on a special drive pertaining to the audit objection certifications. If this was not there, they wouldn't have asked for a special drive. Yes, ma'am.
Now, you said around approximately 4,000 crore, may be likely to be even higher than that. It's a conservative estimate, you said. What about the amount, the quantity of land, temple lands that have, been given away or
In that
sold?
one case, in the Tripura Murugan case alone, the encroachment alone comes to more than 434 acres. I'm not saying this. The status report of the government is saying this in OMR and ECR. The status report of the government, in my case, where the contempt is pending, it says very clearly it's more than about 400 crores. I mean, it's more than about 400 acres of land. So you just calculate and imagine, take the guideline value in OMR and ECR with regard to 400 acres of land. The, the status report is on record. It's really unfortunate where you had a video of Tripura encroaching the land and constructing a video office. After it was highlighted in the petition, it has been removed. There was an Islamic burial ground in the land which belongs to Tripura Murugan Temple and Alavanda Charities Trust. After the contempt, they are now taking steps to remove the Islamic burial ground in the land which was donated to the temple. That is how it is. And had the contempt had not been filed, this wouldn't have happened.
Well,
I'm just giving a
that's
small example of
I
how worse
understand
it
what
is.
you're saying. Right. So it's a big issue. It is a big case, and I really hope that the court takes this seriously and gives the relief that is required. But tell me something, Mr. Jagan. You've had some victories, legal victories in the past as well. Can you tell us about your previous big cases?
Uh, as far as the temples are concerned, I just highlighted the Tirupur Murugan temple case. One such example would be with regard to there's a temple. I don't know if many of them know this. There's a temple called Agnishwara Temple in a place called Nalladai in near Tarangambadi, for which for more than about 20 years there was no Kumbhabhishekam which was held. So it was after I filed the case that the Kumbhabhishekam took place after 21 years. In fact, it took place 2 weeks back in 24th or 25th of May, if I'm not wrong, where I was there in Nallade for the Kumbhabhishekam which took place. The third thing is with regard to the anti-terrorist squad moving away from HR&CE, where I had filed a case with regard to anti-terrorist squad to be formed in Tamil Nadu. Uh, I had I had filed a case, if I'm not wrong, in September. Incidentally, the case came up for hearing on 10th of October and notice was ordered. 2 weeks after I filed the case, in Ukkadam, the bomb blast took place. And yesterday, the NIA has filed a supplementary additional charge sheet. And if you see my affidavit, I had mentioned very clearly in page number 19 and 20 that Ukkadam is a hotspot because you had the 2019 bomb blast taking place in Sri Lanka, the Easter bomb blasting, the Easter bomb blast which took place in Sri Lanka. The mastermind of that was arrested in Ukkadam, and we still don't have an ATS which will look into all these issues. So that is why I had requested the government to create an ATS. And recently, in 24th of April, when the Mania Korikai in the Tamil Nadu Assembly was taken up, 54 to 57 crores was sanctioned, and I think about 340 people have been uh, taken over as a special squad for the anti-terrorist squad. They've been recruited as special people for anti-terrorist squad by the Tamil Nadu government. This is as per their GO in the Mania Korikai. Yes, ma'am.
Right. This is yeah, this is great. So thank you very much, Mr. Jagan, and I think on behalf of all our viewers, also I can confidently wish you the very best of luck. We hope that
Thank you so much.
you
Thank you so
know
much.
these corrupt practices are going to be investigated and come out in the open soon, and the perpetrators should be punished, um, whoever they are.
Thank,
So thank you very much for your time, and good luck with
thank you so
your
much.
case.